Welcome to the Workplace Minute, powered by H3HR Advisors and sponsored by WorkHuman. Thanks for joining me for a quick update on what's important in the world of work. My name is Steve Boese. The typical AI job posting now offers a salary midpoint of $177,000, more than twice the figure for a typical non-AI position. AI is creating real economic opportunity. The much more complicated question is who is actually getting access to these opportunities? Let's take a look. That question is the focus of a new August 2026 report from the LinkedIn Economic Graph Research Institute titled The AI Talent Divide: Strong Demand and Pay, Uneven Returns. The report examines LinkedIn job postings and member employment data in the United States, focusing on occupations involved in building, deploying, and managing AI technology. And the headline numbers are pretty remarkable. The number of AI job postings has roughly doubled in just the past few years. The typical AI job posting now lists a salary midpoint of $177,000 a year. And for a typical non-AI position, that figure is about $80,000. So when we talk about AI creating economic opportunity, this is real opportunity. These are jobs capable of changing someone's career trajectory, their financial security, and their overall lifetime earnings. At the same time, LinkedIn's research reveals a much more complicated picture. AI may be making advanced technology available to almost everyone, while the careers being created around that technology remain available to a much narrower segment of the workforce. That's the AI talent divide in the title of the report. And one of the most interesting findings in the report is how the AI job market itself is changing. Machine learning engineer used to be the most common AI occupation in LinkedIn job postings. AI engineer has now moved ahead of it. Forward deployed engineer has grown rapidly enough to become the third most common AI occupation examined in the report. And companies are also hiring more people into applied AI, AI management, and senior AI leadership roles. This suggests that the AI economy is moving into a new phase. The initial phase was primarily about building the models and developing underlying technologies. The next phase is about deploying AI inside organizations, connecting it to actual business processes, integrating it with existing systems, working with customers, managing the tools, and turning technical capability into measurable business results. This could create new opportunities for people who can operate between the technical and the business sides of the organization. They may understand the technology without necessarily being the person developing the model. And they can translate business problems into AI use cases, help redesign workflows, guide implementations, and help people use the technologies effectively. In other words, the next major AI talent shortage may be in translation and AI implementation rather than in pure model building. Importantly, access to the best jobs in this expanding market is also highly uneven. Around 91% of workers in the AI occupations studied by LinkedIn have a bachelor's degree or higher. And in some of the most lucrative positions, including head of AI, director of AI, and member of technical staff, the share is above 95%. And many of these workers also possess graduate degrees. And this presents one of the central contradictions of the AI economy. AI is often described as a technology that democratizes expertise. It gives more people the ability to write, to analyze data, to create software, to conduct research, and perform tasks that previously required specialized training. Yet the labor market developing around AI appears to be increasingly concentrated among people with high levels of formal education. AI may be lowering the barrier to performing sophisticated work while employers continue raising the barrier to securing the best jobs associated with that work. And the degree concentration in AI has increased as the market has grown. So far, the expansion of the AI economy has reinforced the value of formal credentials rather than diminished it. And the LinkedIn data also suggests that AI is developing into something of a barbell labor market. At one end are highly compensated engineers, technical specialists, implementation experts, and executives. These workers frequently possess advanced degrees, specialized skills, and access to the professional networks that lead to premium opportunities. And at the other end are jobs such as data annotation. These positions involve labeling, reviewing, and organizing information that's used to train or improve AI systems. Data annotation is one of the most accessible occupations in the report. It has lower formal education requirements, and the work is frequently remote, flexible, hourly, and project-based. Women make up more than half of the hires in these roles, making data annotation the most gender-balanced AI occupation that LinkedIn examined. It's also the lowest paying AI occupation in the report, though, with compensation below the typical non-AI job. So that distinction matters because access to an AI job and access to a good AI career are not necessarily the same thing. Flexible, project-based work can provide an entry point for people who have historically been excluded from the technology sector. Yet an entry point creates meaningful economic mobility only when it connects workers to better paying, more secure, and more advanced opportunities. If workers can enter the AI economy through lower paid annotation work without a realistic route into AI operations, quality assurance, workflow design, implementation, or governance, then the labor market has expanded access to tasks without expanding access to careers. And the gender data makes this challenge even more significant. Women account for only 26% of new hires in AI occupations, compared with 50% in non-AI occupations. Their representation is even lower in several of the most highly compensated positions. Women represent about 20% of head of AI hires and only about 18% of member of technical staff hires. And LinkedIn also found that women's representation in AI has failed to improve as the market has expanded. This means the AI talent divide could become just another mechanism through which the broader gender pay gap grows. If AI jobs continue to command a substantial wage premium, and if more of the highest value work across the economy moves into AI-related occupations, underrepresentation will carry an increasingly serious economic consequence. This becomes larger than a tech workforce issue. It becomes an income, mobility, and wealth building issue. There's one encouraging finding in the report. Younger workers are finding genuine pathways into some of the emerging AI occupations. Gen Z represents more than 2/3 of the new hires in both AI engineer and forward deployed engineer roles. So that complicates the common story that AI will simply eliminate entry-level opportunities. AI may reduce some conventional entry-level work while creating new categories of valuable early career positions. But the challenge is that these opportunities are likely to go primarily to young people who already possess the required education, technical preparation, and access. So even within Gen Z, AI could produce sharply different outcomes. Some younger workers may enter extraordinary lucrative positions early in their careers. Others may face automation pressure in traditional entry-level roles while finding the new AI economy difficult to enter. And it's also important to understand the scope of this research. LinkedIn focused on a specific group of AI builder occupations. The report does not include the full range of jobs being created in the AI infrastructure, data centers, governance, or AI-enabled business functions. And job postings also measure employer demand rather than completed hiring or permanent job creation. But even without those limitations, the signal is clear. AI is creating great jobs. It's creating new technical careers, implementation roles, leadership opportunities, and paths for some younger workers. But at the same time, those benefits are concentrating among people who already have many of the credentials and advantages rewarded by the labor market. So for employers, the challenge is to build a wider middle of the AI opportunity market. That means creating pathways into AI operations, implementation, enablement, governance, workflow design, and domain-specific applications. And it means looking beyond the same narrow talent pools and helping existing employees move from adjacent roles into the AI economy. And for workers, the advice to simply learn AI is far too vague. The better question is, where in the AI value chain can you contribute? Can you build the technology, deploy it, connect it to the business, improve its quality, help manage the risk, or help other people use it more effectively? AI may be lowering the barrier to using advanced technology while actually raising the barrier to securing the best jobs that technology creates. And whether we close that gap will help determine whether AI becomes a broad engine of economic mobility or simply creates another premium labor market for people who already have the greatest resources and access. That's it for today's Workplace Minute. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. And a big thank you to WorkHuman for supporting the Workplace Minute. Be sure to subscribe to the HR Happy Hour Network on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Boese, and this has been the Workplace Minute from H3 HR Advisors.